What's going on, guys? It's J-Ho back with more Destiny 2, and in this video we're going to go over how to get Pinnacle Gear. So this is the updated Pinnacle Gear list for the final shape as well as the beginning of the Echoes episode. So before we get into it, in case you're a newer or returning player, I'll give a quick explanation on leveling and the Pinnacle cap. But if you're already familiar with this information, you can go ahead and use the timestamp. I'll leave one in the description, and you can skip ahead to all the Pinnacle Gear sources. So within this first episode of Echoes and the final shape launch, the highest power level that you can be is 2000. This is not including the artifact power level bonuses that you can get from just leveling up the artifact. So this means that all your gear, all your weapons, all your armor, it will only max out at the power level of 2000 within this current episode. So the reason why Pinnacle Gear is important is because once you hit the powerful cap within an episode, then the only way to hit the final hard Pinnacle cap is by earning Pinnacle Gear. So currently in this episode, the powerful cap is at 1990 power. So once you hit 1990 power, the only way to level up after that is by earning Pinnacle Gear. Powerful gear drops from then on will not be increases. They're only going to be plus zeros from that point on. So once you get to that point, Pinnacle Gear is the only way that you can level up until you hit 2000. So in terms of Pinnacle Gear drops, all of them should drop at +2 from your base power level. There's no differences between Pinnacle Gear now. In the past, there were kind of different tiers similar to how Powerful Gear has, where there's tier 1, 2, and 3. And Pinnacle Gear used to have different tiers as well, but now they're all going to be +2, so you don't really have to worry about which ones that you want to do in a certain order. All of them should be +2 from your base power level. And then last thing before we get into it, I usually leave a list in the description below with all the Pinnacle sources, so in case I miss something in the video and someone lets me know in the comments, I can always add stuff to the list later on as well. So if anything changes, I usually try to update that list as well. So now let's get into all the Pinnacle Gear sources. So the first one, starting at the tower, is from Hawthorne. So still one of the easiest ones in the game. This one requires you to give 5 commendations after playing any activities. And I know it does say Powerful Gear tier 2 on it, but it has been a visual bug for a long time now, and it's still a Pinnacle drop. So really easy Pinnacle drop from Hawthorne once again. And then also at the tower, we have another Pinnacle drop at Saint 14. This one is related to Trials of Osiris. So whenever Trials of Osiris is up, this one will be available as a Pinnacle drop as well. So this one specifically says to win matches in Trials of Osiris, and once you win 7, you will earn a Pinnacle drop from him as well. So on top of the Pinnacle from Saint 14, you can also get another Pinnacle drop from Trials, and this one is by earning 50 points. So in order to earn points, you have to win rounds in Trials of Osiris, and you can also get additional points toward this by earning match wins on your ticket as well. And then the final Pinnacle drop from Trials is if you go flawless and you go to the Lighthouse. The Lighthouse should give you a Pinnacle drop as well. So there's a few ways to get Pinnacles from Trials of Osiris. And then moving on to the Vanguard playlist now, we have one from the Nightfall. So very similar to how it was previously in earlier seasons, but there is one for earning points by completing Nightfalls. So you have to earn a total of 200,000 points. So this one is a cumulative score of 200,000 points. You don't have to earn it all in one single Nightfall run. You can do multiple runs, as many runs as it takes you until you hit 200k points total across all the Nightfalls for that week. So this one is pretty simple. Just play a few Nightfalls and you should get 200k points. So sticking with the ritual activities, we now have the Ritual Pathfinder. So this one's a new addition with the final shape. And so I believe this one is also a Pinnacle drop, even though it does say Prime Engram is your reward after completing it. But it should be a Pinnacle drop as well. So if you're unfamiliar with Pathfinder, basically there's going to be all these objectives on the nodes, and you just have to complete the objectives until you form a path to the reward at the end. So for the Ritual Pathfinder specifically, they're going to be objectives tied to Crucible, Gambit, and Vanguard playlists. So once you complete a path, you can then claim the reward at the end. It should be a Pinnacle drop in terms of the Prime Engram. And then after that, you can even reset it, and then you'll get a new set of objectives, and you can complete another path and get another set of rewards. And so I believe the Prime Engram or the Engram drop is from the first 3 resets. After that, it's going to give you diminishing returns. And then next up, we got some Pinnacle Gear from the latest dungeon. So the latest dungeon is still Warlord's Ruin from last season. So this one is still going to give out Pinnacle Gear. I believe you get 1 from each encounter as well. So this one is another good source for Pinnacle drops. And then next up, we got a Pinnacle drop from the rotating dungeons. So every week there's going to be a new dungeon in the rotation that will drop Pinnacle Gear. So once you complete the final encounter of the dungeon, that is when you'll get your Pinnacle drop. And then also we got the rotating featured raid as well. So just like the dungeon one, there's going to be a different raid every week in the rotation, and on completion of that raid, you will get your Pinnacle drop as well. And then the last Pinnacle from the rotating activities is going to be from the rotating exotic mission. So every week there's going to be a new exotic mission in the rotation, and by completing it, you will get a Pinnacle drop. I believe you have to complete either 2 runs on the normal difficulty, or you can complete 1 run on the harder difficulty, and that should earn you your Pinnacle drop. So for some reason this week, the actual challenge wasn't appearing on the map. So I'm not sure if that's going to affect whether or not you get Pinnacle drops. I didn't really try it out. But in terms of the rotating exotic mission, it should always be here in the legend section. And then moving on to a bunch of the newer Pinnacle drops at the Pale Heart. The first one is from the weekly Cooperative Focus mission. So this one is a pretty rewarding one. You get a Pinnacle Deep Sight weapon, you get an Ascendant Shard, and some Ghost Reputation as well. So pretty good that it kind of focuses on specific slots as well in terms of what you're gonna get from your Pinnacle drop. And then moving on, we have the newest raid with Salvation's Edge. So this one is another source for Pinnacle Gear, and I think there is a visual bug on this one because it doesn't show on the map that it rewards Pinnacle Gear, but it should be a Pinnacle Gear drop at every encounter, I believe. And then next up, we got another Pinnacle from the newly added Excision activity. This one is the 12-man cooperative activity from the final part of the story. And then moving on to the last few Pinnacles, these are going to be activities related to the Echoes episode. So the first one is from the new Breach executable activity. You can get 2 Pinnacle drops from this one. You can get 1 from just completing it on any difficulty, and then you can also get another one from completing it on the higher difficulty as well. Both you got to do 3 times. So for the 2 Echoes related activities, you do have to unlock them. The Breach executable one is really easy to unlock. You just have to progress the main story quest from the episode, and then eventually you'll unlock this one because one of the steps is to play this activity. And then the other Pinnacle drop is from the Enigma Protocol activity. So you just have to open chests within this activity, and then you can earn a Pinnacle drop. So for this one, you do have to progress the story quest a little bit, and then Failsafe will give you another quest, and then you have to go to a location on Nessus, and then you have to shoot some boxes or cubes, and then you'll then unlock the activity. So I'll probably have some footage up on the screen, but if you have been playing any of the Echo stuff, you probably unlocked these 2 modes already. But these are 2 sources for more Pinnacle Gear as well. And then lastly, I believe Iron Banner is another source for Pinnacle drops. But anyway, that's about it for this video. If I missed any, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to add it to the list. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!